I want you to know a few things that I've learned later in life that I think you'll find useful. Firstly, please remember, don't make any important decisions when you're feeling emotional. When your emotions are all over the place and you're feeling very unstable, uncertain, and really low, that's not the right time to be making important decisions. Always ride out the storm and wait until your emotions have calmed down. Think of the snow globe. Every once in a while it gets really shaken up and you can't see clearly because of all the pieces of glitter floating around. It's the same with what's happening inside you. If something has happened in your life and you're having lots of negative and repetitive thinking and upset emotions, it's like the snow globe of your being is being shaken up in that moment and you can't see clearly. You can't see clearly what's going on. You need to wait until everything's calmed down so that you can kind of see the big picture and take a considered approach to how to move forward and what decisions to make in your life. Always remember this. Please never, ever, ever make an important decision when you're feeling emotional. You have something inside you. It's called innate wisdom and well-being. It's built into you, and you were born with it. You actually don't have to do anything to be wise and well. What you actually need to see is what you're doing that's interfering with this innate wisdom and well-being, and why you're not experiencing it. And that thing that you're doing is that you are believing your stressful thinking. All those negative, repetitive thoughts that keep popping up, you're giving them your attention. And when you give them your attention, you give them strength, you give them power, and they kind of take over you, you know? They create this thought prison in your mind, and you get stuck there, not knowing how to get out from that place. A very unhealthy and dark place. But know that it doesn't have to be that way. You see, I always looked outside of me for the answers. I thought if I found the right country, I'd be happy. So I traveled the world. I thought if I found the right job, then I'd be satisfied. So I changed jobs multiple times. I thought if I found the right relationship, that would be the answer to all my problems. So I was in and out of many relationships, but I didn't find the answers I was looking for in any of these outward things. You know where I found the answers? In here. Right here. Listen, you are not your thoughts and you're not your feelings. You're the one who is aware of them. You have the ability to notice that you're thinking. You have the ability to notice that you're feeling. And it's kind of like you're in there. The real you is not what you see in the mirror, because that changes. Let me tell you, it changes quite a lot over the years. The real you is something that never changes. It's the awareness that's deep inside. I'm 58 years old now. When I look in the mirror, I see a very different reflection from when I looked in the mirror 20 years ago and when I looked in the mirror when I was a teenager. But the person who's looking through these eyes is still very much the same person. I'm still very much the same awareness. So realize this, because who you really are is not a person with all these problems and hang-ups and life circumstances. All these things are just part of the game of life that you're playing. Who you really are, deep inside, is really quite wonderful and mysterious and amazing. If you're feeling confused about things, and I used to feel very confused about pretty much everything, it means that you are in your mind, because all the muddle and the confusion is always in the mind. You know, the mind is all over the place with its thoughts, thinking about this, thinking about that, trying to figure out a solution to the problems that it's created. You are different from your mind. Even though your mind can be very powerful and can seem to be running the show, it's actually only a virtual reality show. What you're seeing through your mind's eye is not reality. It's a perspective. It's a whole bunch of thoughts that are creating your idea of the world. Remember that. So when you have these thought storms, or you're feeling super emotional, maybe something's happened in your life that's really upset you and you don't know how to deal with it and you're kind of freaking out, realize in that moment that you have this disturbed energy inside of you, but it's not who you are. You're the one who's aware of this disturbing energy. So wait for it to calm down. Wait for it to pass. And it will pass, because these thoughts and emotions that we experience are just like the weather. Look, you see those clouds passing by? That's what's always happening. No thought, no feeling ever stays permanently. They always pass. That's their nature. They're temporary. The most important thing is to have a good relationship with your mind, a proper relationship with your mind. That means you understand what it's doing. You understand it's creating this virtual reality. And so you don't take it too seriously. Don't take those thoughts, ideas, and opinions too seriously. You can trust life more than you think you can. Whatever decision you make, it's going to be okay. You know, whether you get this job or that job, marry this person or that person, go and live here or go and live there, it's all okay. Don't believe the thought that life's trying to catch you out. Life isn't like that. Life is actually a lot kinder than your thoughts about it. And you'll discover this with time. You'll see that so many things that you worried about didn't happen. But the thing that's really important to know is that you, through your thoughts, have the power to create your experience of life. This is why there are people who suffer through life and people who go through life with a grateful heart, who seem to be enjoying no matter what's happening. Remember also that there are no mistakes. No mistakes, it's all part of life. You know, we do like to judge things, and you learnt from a very young age to judge things and to label things as good and bad. You don't need to do that. You can just meet life as it is. You know, those thoughts are going to convince you that you're different from everyone else and that you're not good enough. And you're going to be trying to do all these things to make yourself feel good enough. But let me tell you, those thoughts really aren't true. And you know what's funny is just about everybody else around you is actually thinking and feeling the same way. They're also feeling they're not good enough, but they don't show it most of the time because we're very good at wearing a mask. And actually, the bullies are the ones who are the most insecure. So keep that in mind as well. People can be very scary in this virtual reality world because there's you and then there's everybody else. But in reality, we're actually all made of the same stuff. We all deep down actually want the same thing. We want to be happy. We want to have loved ones in our life, and we want to feel fulfilled. All of us, no matter what the background, no matter what political side we're on, we actually all deep down want the same thing. But we have very different perspectives and very different ways of going about things. So remember that next time you feel intimidated, it's not that person that's scary, it's that you're believing your insecure thoughts about that person or about that situation. That's what's making it scary. If you can see this, it will change everything. The most precious thing in the whole world is today. The fact that you have woken up and you've been given another day to live is such a gift that shouldn't be taken for granted, and a gift that you can make the most of by not dragging the past into it and not wasting it by worrying about a future that doesn't exist. If you could just realize how precious today is, when so many others didn't get to wake up today. If you can see the preciousness of this, then you can wake up with a smile every morning. And that's my advice to you, that you wake up with a smile. No matter how you feel, smile with gratitude that you get to live another day to experience this miracle of life. Real life, not the mind-made life, but the real life. Also, spend more time in nature. Try and eat good stuff. Choose your friends wisely. And remember that your parents and older people are humans too, and they were also your age once. So cut them some slack as well and give them some love, because everybody needs more love.